Hello, everyone. Welcome to another ConCal Calibrating Podcast, live from, well, the floor of the Hyde in this case, but live from PAX West 2018. I'm Josh Silverman, talking to Eve Crevoshay, the Executive Director of Take This. So, for starters, just, we're here on what I've been informed is day 3 of PAX.
Yes.
If you asked me, I would be pretty sure it was like day 6 or 7 at this
right?
point. It's been a long weekend, but how are you doing? How's the event been for you?
I'm doing great. It's been a fantastic event for us. As you know, we run these AFK Rooms.
Yes.
The Take This AFK Room here at PAX West has been it's kind of an institution here, and it's a really important resource.
Sure.
And it's it's not good always that it's full, but it also is good that it's full because it means that people know it's there. It's a resource, and people who need a break, who need a quiet and supportive space, are there. And that's really, it's great to see.
I think that aspect is definitely a wonderful thing because, as you said, it's not great that it's a necessary thing, but it's great that people know that they have the resource, they have the ability, they don't have to deal with the constant din, the constant noise of that show floor, and just whatever else might be happening for them, kind of thing. So that's great. So I want to get back to that, but the first thing is just tell me a little bit about Take This for people who may not know what you guys do.
Yeah. So Take This is a mental health nonprofit that serves the game industry and the game community.
Sure.
And we, first and foremost, we aim to normalize mental health challenges. Okay. And that's because when you talk about mental health challenges and you say, 1 in 4 people experience mental health challenges as adults, and people have all kinds of relationships to mental health challenges through their friends and their family, etc. And when you do that, people suddenly, it's like it gives people permission to talk. Yes. And you hear people breathe a sigh of relief, and you see people kind of open up and say, "Oh, thank you," and yes, and they almost always have a story of their own, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's like the whole idea about breaking the stigma kind of thing. I mean, the reason I run a show called The Mental Health Breakdown that I do sometimes. Your colleague Dr. B was on the show not that long ago. But one of the reasons I started that was because I had an experience with my in-laws. Wonderful, lovely people, but what ended up happening was I made some throwaway comment about happiness. I just started a new job, and I just was like, I've never been this happy. Just something you don't think about. You just blurt out at dinner one time. And they're like, oh, you weren't happy when you married our daughter? Oh, you weren't happy when your son was born? Yeah. And it's like, MFers, kind of response, like, how dare, how, like, I almost went to this how dare thing, but I realized that they don't understand, like, how happiness works. That it's not this blanket scale of happiness for different events. Everything has a different effect, and with mental health stuff, you never really know how you're going to be impacted by different things, positive or negative. So it's what led me to start this whole, like, my kind of exploration of my own mental health and other people's, because I realized that some people most important to me who have their own issues or may have their own issues, they don't even understand how things work. So if the people closest to me who've seen me for over a decade don't understand what I'm going through, how would other people, and how would other people know what other people are going through? Yeah. And so I think that's exactly
it. So what we do is we start by normalizing and destigmatizing mental health challenges, and then because we speak game, because we come from the community and we serve the community, we're able to offer resources and training and safe spaces. Sure. So we have the Take This AFK Room. We have the Take This Streaming Ambassador program that just launched this weekend. Yes,
I remember seeing the I think press release or some information online about.
Yeah, and that's so those are There's streamers who have been very carefully vetted and selected, and they have agreed basically to abide by a set of behavior standards in the way that they interact with people expressing mental health challenges in their community. So in their streams and their discussions, and we and these are people who have already of their own accord taken it upon themselves to educate themselves and to be responsible and kind of active members of a positive mental health community inside the game industry and the game community. And that's really cool. And they're awesome people.
It's outstanding.
Yeah, it's outstanding. And that's part of a kind of a shift in culture that we're trying to be at the forefront of.
Sure.
How do we ensure that positive mental health spaces and resources and training is available across the whole industry? And so we're working inside game companies to help them, understand better how to make their work environments better, their policies and their practices, to train managers, to work with communities, and to set those kinds of standards across the whole industry.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome because it's one of those things. Again, we said, people don't talk about stuff. People don't, and they don't talk about it because they don't know they're able to talk about stuff. They don't know the openings. So the fact that you have this, for starters, the streamer program, the streamer ambassador program is great because obviously, as a streamer myself, we are kind of like the new wave of entertainment, and
it's amazing.
I mean, the literal term is influencers, and people mock that term influencers, but there's a reason behind it because you aren't just influencing people to buy, MeUndies or something like that. You're convincing them, through intent or otherwise. You're convincing them literally just with your demeanor. I forget who, someone during the Mixer panel on streaming stuff made a comment about how they influence their audience to be better towards other people by they just literally make a comment. Oh, hey, thanks such and such for welcoming this person to the chat while I was busy. Just like little things like that, and people
modeling good
good behavior, just a positive reinforcement.
Sounds like parenting
aspect.
A little bit.
It's, that's literally what it kind of is to an extent. I mean, really, a lot of what we do is, different behavioral stuff is a parenting aspect because we all kind of parent. We have friends, we parent, and our own parents we parent sometimes. I mean, it's just the nature of just human interaction. So it's great seeing the influencer culture, understanding now how important they are, particularly to younger developing minds.
Oh, it's wonderful. And we have, the really exciting thing about our ambassadors is that they're true partners in this, and they come with their own commitment and their own passion. And, that's they're not alone. There's a lot of people out there who are part of this community. And we have so many clinicians that we work with. We have a clinician on staff, as you know, Dr. B.
Yes.
And so we can bring both community knowledge and passion and clinical knowledge and best practice to play on these issues. And it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, you get to essentially play off a lot of different sides to really figure out, I guess you could say, the best course of action for helping people, essentially, different perspectives and whatnot. Yeah,
because there are lots of different perspectives, and people need different things, and they need different things at different times. And so it's really important to us that we don't say this is the right way to do it. That's not cool.
No. Because there's no necessarily right way.
There is no right way.
Yeah, I mean, we're all different personalities. You could have one person. You can look at two people who are very seemingly similar people, but that means nothing when you actually start working with them.
Yeah. And so, there are right ways and wrong ways to deal with confidentiality in the workplace, and with, like all the kind of HR policy stuff that we want to be able to speak to,
of course,
to companies. And there are right and wrong ways to support people experiencing mental health challenges. And there are things that can be harmful to certain people, that are kind of right and wrong, right? But in terms of what people need and what kind of therapy they need, that's not something we would ever do.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
No, understandable.
Yeah.
So, so actually, let me do a side thing. So let's go a little more into what you do on site at events like this, like PAX and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So between the AFK rooms and stuff like that. How do you go about bringing people in for that?
Yeah, I will.
Yes. Yeah. So let's talk more. Let's go into this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what an AFK room is, and then how you're bringing those about to be utilized at events like PAX West.
Definitely. So the AFK room is a quiet, supportive space inside a convention for attendees to go when they need a break. Or they need to talk to somebody. And it's staffed by clinical and non-clinical volunteers. Okay. So we have clinicians in there, and we have people who just are trained by us to be supportive and helpful.
Sure.
And if you want to be left alone, you'll be greeted and left alone. and you can go and you can color. We have a lot of coloring books. You can rest. Here at PAX West, we have some outdoor space, which is really nice. You can go sit in the sun for a few minutes.
After being locked in, confined more or less in an expo hall with hundreds upon hundreds of people close by, outdoor space sounds nice.
It's really nice. And it's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you can sit on your phone as long as you have earbuds or it's on silent.
Okay.
We have resources in there, how to find a therapist. We have a very helpful flow chart, how to find a therapist. And that's on our website, and it's also in person. And then we have therapists there who are not going to provide therapy in an AFK room, but they're going to be able to help you help yourself and help you identify when you need to look for additional support.
Outstanding.
Mm-hmm. And what's wonderful about PAX West and the other PAXs and all of our relationships with conventions is that we have we train enforcers.
Yes.
And we provide, so we are integrated into the kind of health and safety plan of a convention in a way that means that an enforcer knows if somebody's in crisis, they know where to go and what to do in that moment. And they can bring people to the AFK room if they're in active crisis.
I mean, that's one of my favorite things about what you guys do. I mean, that right there, because I've seen at other events a person having an issue, essentially, for more or less, and the volunteers for that event will escalate a situation almost, sometimes because they just literally don't know what to do. So it's great that at events like this, where you're able to work with this, that we have the enforcers who know. They know, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so we do that, and then we have our Hope booth where which is it's in the Diversity Lounge.
Okay.
And that's a place, another kind of point of entry for people to come and talk and where's the AFK room? What is what does Take This do? How can I support Take This, which is as a nonprofit, we're always trying to thread that needle. And then we also do panels.
Sure.
And so we are part of the community in that way as well. And we have such expert voices associated with us, and so many people who, a number of our ambassadors are part of our panels, and other folks who speak a lot on these issues. And they, we talk about things like imposter syndrome, or when am I not good enough, or why am I not good enough? We have a really cool panel this afternoon talking about the WHO's classification of gaming disorder as gaming addiction as a disorder, and having a really healthy discussion about that, which is so cool, right?
Yeah.
And
discussion is necessary on every topic. I mean, it really boils down to you need to discuss things.
You need to talk about things, and we in that way also we try to be as visible and available to the community at a convention as possible.
Good.
And so we always have long lines of people talking to us after those events, so we leave time and space for that. And so that's our engagement with conventions. And we also obviously have all of these other opportunities to work in the industry and work with individuals throughout the year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I mean, is there anything else about Take This that people watching you might want them to be aware of, or any other aspects related to that? I mean,
well, I would say that I've talked about the things that we try to do, the resources. We've got some video coming on our website soon, which is going to be really some interviews with people, testimonials from game developers and from players and a range of people, and that's really important. But we also, I would say that, most of all is it's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
And we are here as a resource, and with all kinds of supports and all kinds of ways that we can step in and say, hey, this is not an impossible problem.
Okay.
And we can help you and your family and your friends and your company be more supportive. And it's possible.
Awesome. I've said awesome a bunch of times. It hasn't been made seriously. Like it's just great that you provide those resources. It's just a great thing to be able to have that in the community, whether in the gaming community or even growing beyond that. It's just nice for people to, as you said, to know how to help themselves. And that's really what boils down to one of the most important things, particularly in this really screwed up world we currently abide.
I really love being able to be a voice of hope. I think, and that's first and foremost what we are. And
that's the most important. That's incredibly awesome and incredibly important. Where can people find Take This? Where can people find all this information?
So we're online at takethis.org, and there's a wealth of resources, and there's ways to support us, and there's ways to reach out to us, and that's and then we're of course on Twitter pretty actively and Facebook. So at takethis.org and takethis.org.
Well, wonderful. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me. This has seriously been a very enlightening and interesting chat.
Awesome.
So I'm really happy we got to do this. For anyone who's watching this, you are probably watching this on youtube.com/ConCalPod. You can find us streaming regularly on mixer.com/ConCalPod, and ConstantCalibrating.com is a good place to look for stuff. With that, I bid you a good sign off.